Yeah, no.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 with myself, Rob, and Lee. It's probably going to be the best three-way you're going to see unless you are on Pornhub. Okay?
It's going to be better than Pornhub, let me tell you.
How are you both doing? Right? Yeah, it's free.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Busy day or a busy week so far in London. I am here. I'm just holding the camera, so there is two of us here.
Both there. Not working for Lee, was it?
No, it's not having it, mate. It's not having it at
all.
Bastard. It's just not having it. It's just throwing me. It's not even letting me in. So that's what we're having to do. Like, we're doubling up on you, mate.
Tag team in it.
Tag team in it.
So I know you've just both got in from your day, haven't you? So what's your day been like today then?
It's been good. So this morning we started. So we had to deliver some talks this afternoon. So we decided we'll take some time out for ourselves, give a little bit of self-care, give ourselves what we need. So we decided to go and get the boat up from Tower London up to Westminster, and then we jumped on an open top bus around London, and we just became tourists for the morning.
Well, it's nice to have a little break like that, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's nice to have a little break like that.
Yeah, well, you got to, mate. You have to. You know, when you're kind of doing the stuff that we do, you have to kind of add a little bit of humour and just take some time out and just have some fun. So we've done that.
100%. So obviously, Lee, this is your first time coming on. Could you just introduce yourself and give some information about what it is you do?
Yeah, so I'm Lee. I'm a life coach. I've been a life coach for about 5 years now, and I'm also a CBT practitioner as well. I do some life coaching for the Lighthouse Club. And I also go out on tours for the Lighthouse Club and deliver some talks, raise awareness about the charity, services and support they offer, chat to the guys. I tell them about myself, some of my life experience, some of the things that I've overcome, and just let them know that, you know what, there is a little bit of hope out there for us. And just by being honest and kind of sharing some of the knowledge in that, it kind of resonates with the people, and it allows them to actually realise that actually, do you know what, they're not the only people that feel the way that they feel. And then when I'm not doing that, I live in France, and I run my coaching business online. I made my world really, really small, manageable, and it's very simple, and it's just the way that I like it. I created it for what actually kind of gives me what I need. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Where's about in France do you live then, buddy?
So I live in southwest France. I live slap bang in the middle. To put a bit of location on it, I live about an hour and a half from Bordeaux, as if you're going to Bordeaux from the UK.
Oh, lovely, mate. So I know you were just saying then a minute ago about obviously some of your personal experiences, and is that what got you into doing the life coaching and stuff like that then? Or...
Yeah, so basically about 7 years ago, I had a mental breakdown, mate. Life just become too much. Prior to the breakdown, I made 2 attempts on my life. I was just trying to escape what was going on up here.
Yeah.
And for me, that was the only choice that I gave myself. Lucky enough, I failed attempts. So I went to counselling and started to talk about me, you know, the person that I never really spoke about. You know, I just pretended to be something that I wasn't for many, many years. And it caught up with me. And then from that point, really, I decided to make some decisions to change my life. You know, things about myself that I had to change that were very, very unhealthy. And by doing that, it made me a lot more open to opportunities and open to talking to people more openly as well. I changed jobs and I became an army welfare worker. And through that training, I realised that actually I was really good with people. You know, every job I had was people orientated. I just didn't relate it back to that.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I had a career, I had a purpose. You know, I was getting up and going and doing the job that I really loved doing. You know, and that was just helping people help themselves. And then temptation started to creep in again. And so we decided to sell up and move. Something we was going to do anyway. We just decided to bring it forward by about 10 years. Mark had taken early redundancy and he didn't want to go back to work. So we just thought, sod it, we'll just set up and move to France. And we made a new life there. And we haven't looked back since. That gave me the chance really to kind of be with myself and not try to run away with what was going on. And it gave me a chance to really kind of sit down and open up. And I started to open up about my mental health on my Instagram page. And also I had all this experience as well. So I just decided that I liked the coaching aspect because it was about building a future and working forward rather than going into the counselling side, which is kind of regression and working backwards.
Right. Okay,
So I just kind of took it from there really, and it just kind of grew. And I haven't looked back, to be fair. It's just kind of organically grown. And I've just kind of gone with the flow with it. And that's how I met Rob. I met Rob through an Instagram live, believe it or not.
Well, you done an Instagram live together, did you? Or
I was doing an Instagram live series called "What's It Like to Be a Man in Today's World?" And does anybody want to come on? And Rob said that he'd like to come on, and we kind of met, and we kind of like fell in love over our love for pot noodle sandwiches, and this budding bromance blossomed. And now we're like,
sat around a picnic table eating Chinese.
That's no better way than a bromance to start off with a Chinese.
Man, you know what I mean? Like sharing ribs and stuff. But yeah, and you start to kind of control what comes in and out of your life. Yeah, and you invite people to sit at your table. I was cutting out people that were adding no value to my life and kind of filling it with people that were gonna help me grow and were gonna be part of something that was gonna be the person I was becoming.
Do you think that helped when you moved to France to get away from the surroundings that you were used to and you moved to somewhere that was new? Do you think that helped you?
It definitely helped because what it made me do was stop running away, and it made me focus on me without any distractions.
Yeah.
Be negative or positive distractions, be it people or drugs or alcohol or anything like that. It just gave me a chance to kind of really. I didn't have to run by time anymore. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to do a 9 to 5. It was really difficult because that transition was really hard because I've been programmed for so many years to get up and go to work. Yeah. And so the first year was good because it was novelty and it was new and everything was kind of like, unfamiliar. The second year it was hard. Like the second year I was ready to jack it all in and set up and move back. Mark's mum passed away, so we spent some time back in the UK. So I was on my own. And I just started drinking heavier and heavier and heavier. And then I just woke up sort of like hungover one day and I was like, I can't do this no more. And I stopped drinking. So I'm not drunk now for like 2.5 years.
Okay, that's good.
And that was a big change for me. And then from then I kind of just grew, and I just kind of now just for me it's about understanding what I need and understanding that I have something to pass on to other people, and it's knowledge. It really is, and it's experience, and that's kind of what I do. I aim specifically at men because obviously I'm a man, believe it or not. But I understand how difficult it is kind of navigating the world, being a man, especially when you're conditioned in certain ways, and the environment and society and the expectations that are put on us. And sometimes you just want someone that kind of gets it, you know what I mean? But you're going to take no bullshit, and he's just going to kind of speak directly to you and say, look, if you do this, this can happen.
Yeah.
If you carry on doing what you're doing, this is going to happen.
Yeah. You can fuck yourself up if you don't listen to someone, get some help. You need it.
Yeah. Listen, mate,
the work that other people are doing is amazing, isn't it? There's people out there to help. Yeah,
and I think, but the hardest thing is asking, but the difficult thing is sustaining that. Because when you're left on your own, it's easier to revert back to what you know, 100%. To revert back to type. Because
actually comforts, isn't it? That you're just in a zone and you just don't really think about anything else. Just go back to what you used to.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of made my life simple. It was easier to manage, and it makes it better for me. I overcomplicate things. I'm a massive overthinker. I'm a procrastinator and I'm a people pleaser. And they're like 3 really bad traits to have for me. And so, I have good people around me that kind of go to me, listen, get your shit sorted out. And
that helps you, doesn't it, mate? For growth and that, helping yourself moving forward, keep going on.
Of course.
Yourself.
You know, there's going to be like, you can look. Come on, we all have times when that inner saboteur kicks in and tells us that we're not doing well enough, and we should be doing like the other person over there.
100%, mate. I think with the social media, you've got the good things with social media, but some things with social media is bad. You've got some things where it's constantly looks like someone else is doing so well, and these days it can have a massive knock-on effect, and you question yourself, why am I doing like that? Why am I doing that well? But you don't know the actual story behind the scenes or behind the picture, do you?
Absolutely. You know, that's the key word there. Is like if you get a picture of somebody or something or somewhere, all you'll see is that picture, and we don't know how much that's been filtered, doctored, or whatever. I'm interested in what comes after that and what before that, because that's the bigger picture. And if you get the bigger picture, I guarantee you, it's nothing like what we're showing people. You know, it isn't. We just present to the world what we think people want to see, or we just hide behind that because we don't have that kind of mental capacity or that emotional capacity to deal with stuff.
Yeah. So, Rob, if you flip over to you, mate, 'cause you are there as well. So, if you talk to me about obviously the work you and Lee do together and where you are at the moment and what you are doing.
Yeah, so we're out and about this week in central London, giving these talks to construction workers, letting them know about the services that the Lighthouse provide and how it can not only help them but their immediate family as well. So we sort of rock up to site. Everybody thinks we're going to pull PowerPoint stuff out and it's going to be a boring talk about mental health. But when we start talking about my journey and Lee's journey, like we spoke about when I came and did the live a couple of weeks ago with you about how I just let life get on top of me and putting work before everything, and it was just destroying not only my life but everybody else's around me, my family life and the relationship I was having with my kids and my partner Louise, and how I had to push myself to limits. And I tell everybody all this on site, and you can see people's faces changing. They're like, oh, actually that sounds like me, that's what I'm going through, and I know I can resonate with that, what you're saying. And like bits like what Lee talks about and the drugs and the alcohol and all that sort of stuff. And people at the end of it, I didn't know there's anything like this out there. I was like, yeah, it's out there. It's been around since 1956 and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, so if people are seeing someone else talk about it, like yourself and Lee, talking about your own experiences and etc., I think it's that light bulb moment where people realise, okay, there is stuff out there, and I've got something similar going on to what you just spoke about. And that hopefully should help them come through then and, talk about their own experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like it's somebody just come to tell them about services that they provide. It's two people that are giving them real world experience. And I mean, I've been a bricklayer for 23 years now. And there was times where I didn't know I was going through it. I didn't know I had all these problems going on because I was living in it. I just thought that's what life was. I thought I get up, I go to work every day, I grind it out, I come home, I pay my bills, and that's it. But it really doesn't have to be like that. And we gave one of the talks we gave today. There was a guy not heckling us, but he was like, "Yeah, but that's what life is." I'm like, "No, it's not, mate. It doesn't have to be like that." Yeah, but society tells us it has to be like that. I'm like, "It really doesn't, mate. You do." Yeah, but how do you pay your bills? I still pay my bills now. I'm still in the same house. I've still got all the same stuff, but I'm doing it so it works for me. I'm in charge of it, and I'm not working to pay my bills. I've realised that there's more to life than all that sort of stuff.
That's what we're told, though, isn't it? That's what we are forced into, to think 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever it is. That's what you've got to do for the rest of your life until you're retired. Isn't it? Absolutely,
and that's what I said to him. I was like, I totally get where you're coming from, mate. I really, really do.
Yeah.
And once you realise that I wasn't there to take the piss out of him, marginalising him, shout him down or anything like that, listen to what I had to say. And he sort of sat and listened, and then there was a couple of times where I had to check in with him, like, "You all right, mate?" And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I played a tough macho, that everything's all right. But I know he'll go away tonight now, and he'll be thinking about what we spoke about, and he'll be like, well, if he can do it, so can I. He's managed to turn it around. He's worked in exactly the same environment as what he's working in now. Although he was a different trade to me, the stuff I was telling him, he obviously it resonated, and it touched a nerve with him. It really must have touched a nerve with him, because he was shouting out as we were talking. And I checked in with him at the end of it, like, "You all right?" He's like, yeah, I'm fine," and left. But hopefully he'll go away tonight. He might use the services that the Lighthouse provide for him, and he now knows what help is available to him out there, and he can turn it around, and he doesn't have to be stuck in a job that's destroying him. He can reach out, he can get the support, he can change it, and that's all comes through these talks that we do.
Yeah, 100%. Can you both explain, obviously, the services that the Lighthouse charity offer? This is for people that are out there who don't understand or don't know about what they offer.
So the Lighthouse are a charity that everybody seems to think it's just mental health, but mental health is a massive part of what they do. But they can also help you your physical and your financial health as well. So especially at the minute with the price of utilities, they could be struggling to pay your gas, electric, water, everything like that. And you'd be thinking, how am I going to pay this? I don't know what to do. I can't afford them. I'm going to work and earning, and I'm still not earning enough money. Reach out to Lighthouse. They run a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week helpline, tech service and app. You can access their service on all of those ways and through the website as well. And they're not going to hand you out a big chunk of money to pay those bills. But what they could do is they could take those bills away from you for 3 months or 6 months. You could work out a budget plan with them together, and you can come up with a plan that's going to work for you, so you can get yourself back in a good place and continue with your life. And your kid could be struggling with anxiety to do with exam pressure or bullying at school or anything that's going on in their life. Socializing, and you could get the help off them. They could not only look after the child, but they can also look after you and let you understand how best to deal with those problems and how best to look after yourself and how to look after them, and what is the next best thing to do moving forward with it all. And then on the physical side of things, you could be in chronic pain. I mean, I'm 38 and 39 now, and I have to go to a chiropractor. I'm sitting up straight as I say that. I go to a chiropractor once a month just to look after me and keep me in shape and look after my body. But sometimes you're not in a position where you can go to pay for it yourself, and you might need a little bit of help with that. They can help you with that. They do. They have these things called beacons. So they have walking and talking groups, or it can be a bit of face-to-face group therapy, or it can be drug and alcohol support groups, gambling. It's like all these things. These are all things that are in your local area. So if you go on the website, type in your postcode, type in what you're looking for, and it will bring up all the affiliated support groups that are in your area. And it might say on a Wednesday there's a group of people that meet at a local area to you, and they talk about drugs. Or there might be a peer support group that meets on a Sunday and they go out for a walk. Or all these sort of things.
Yeah, so you literally just in the Lighthouse charity, your postcode, and then the groups turn up, come up with the thing, then, and you see which one suits you.
Yeah, so you go on the website on your computer, you put in lighthouseClub.org, and then you find in the drop downs beacons, you put it in there, and it brings up like a map, a Google map, and you can click on your area and you can zoom in for whatever you're looking for. And it's all on there. You can go on the website and look at the training that they offer. You can look at the support, both therapeutic and physical support that they can give you, as well as the financial stuff. I mean,
that's good. It's a wide range of stuff that they offer then, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's massive. It's massive what they do. And if they don't do it in-house, they will outsource it to somebody who can do it for you. Yeah. And they have a team that do tax returns. They can help you do a tax return. They won't fill the form out for you. But what they can do is they can say, look, do it like this. Yes, you can claim for that. No, you can't. Maybe tweak this a little bit. Make that work a little bit better for you. Like they were telling us that there was somebody who had a £10,000 tax bill come in. And they reached out to Lighthouse to say, look, I don't know how to deal with this. I haven't got £10,000 to give them. And the team that looks after the tax stuff negotiated it down from 10,000 to 800. It's riffed to £800.
Really?
And that's a big difference. And then they helped them set up a payment plan. So it's all these little things that we need to do to look after ourselves that we don't realise. Like they can help with pension planning.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff, financial.
So many main things are the main worries for most people, isn't it? Yeah. You covered it under one charity.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything they do is free. There's no charge to it. You don't have to subscribe to it. You don't have to donate if you're not in a position to donate. They'll never ask you to donate.
Yeah.
But they are there to help support not only you but your immediate family as well.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Obviously, what they offer. So if you can, guys, check them out, because that's amazing. If you have got any queries or questions, ask them. 100%.
It's as long as you work within the construction industry or at one of the affiliated links, so working at Travis Perkins or a builder's merchant, or a material that is manufactured for the construction industry, you're covered by it.
And it's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free.
And also,
you can hold it.
I tell you what else they do, right? This is how far they go. So they offer an hour's free legal advice. Now, legal advice is really, really, really expensive.
Yeah.
You're getting an hour for free. It is priceless. Now, it can be for anything. Now, you could be going through a divorce. You might be getting access to your children. You might be getting crippled by child support payments. You could be having a dispute with someone next door that's decided to put up an 8-foot fence and is blocking out your sunlight. You've had an accident in your car, whatever it is. It's sometimes that extra burden, that extra pressure that we get, that we think, where am I going to find the money for this?
Yeah.
Some people don't know where to start looking.
No,
they don't know what to Google. I mean, I wouldn't know what to Google. As Rob said, there's things like debt consolidation, tax returns. I'm self-employed. I can't do a tax return.
No.
I wouldn't know where to look. But this is all like, seriously, it's a one-shop stop. It really is. And the guys that we speak to, they think it's just going to be a mental health talk. Oh, yeah,
just that.
And it's not. They don't realise just the plethora of different support services that we offer for them for nothing. And
it's basically life support, isn't it?
It is. And the best thing about it is it's not just for them. It could be for their wife, for their husband, for their children. A lot of women, I say a lot of women, a lot of people didn't go back to work after lockdown and they become stay-at-home parents, or they worked remotely. Now that becomes quite insular and it becomes quite lonely. It really does. But what happens is you get into that habit and it's difficult to get out of it. And then you find it hard to socialise. You find it hard to go back out again. Even just ran to friends for coffee or, for dinner and stuff like that. And we can kind of help with that. We have really good life coaches. I'm one of them. We have really good counsellors. I am getting bereavement counselling from them at the moment. My mum passed away a year ago, and I was coping, but I'd spent decades, hiding my feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to express them, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. And so they've given me some bereavement counselling with this woman, and she's amazing. She really is, and it's given me the space to really talk about how I'm feeling and not feel judged, not feel weird, not feel as if I shouldn't be allowed to feel the way that I'm feeling. They're just really compassionate in the way that they kind of deal with you. Look, we're men, man. We're conditioned from a really, really young age.
That's the thing, mate. That's what you try and break, isn't it? That's what.
So if we stand in front of these other men and we are just men having a conversation about stuff that we've been through that nearly broke us, but we've managed to come out the other end, that's what it's all about. It really is. It's just about going, look, I kind of made it out. I'm doing well. I still have days or hours where I feel a bit shit about myself, but I know how to deal with them. I know that I have to ask for help. I know that I have to ask for support. I always say to them, look, it's like going shopping. When you're going to a shop and you're trying to find an item and you can't find it, you go up to a shop assistant and say, can you help me?
Yeah.
I need your help. It's exactly
that initial help, isn't it? That's all it is.
It's all about perspective, mate. It's all about the way that you look at things. We only know what we know. And until we change that, it's down to us to kind of take responsibility for ourselves. We can. It's all right to not be okay, but it's not okay to not be okay all the time.
Yeah.
We have to do something for ourselves. And if you've got a support service that can offer you a lot of stuff, it empowers you. It makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, refreshes.
Yeah, absolutely. It really does.
So what about yourself, then, Lee? Have you got any future plans or future goals that you're aiming towards, or you want to try and reach, or anything like that?
Mate, I just want to keep growing as a person.
Yeah.
I want to know what I can achieve. I don't put too much pressure on myself, but I push myself enough to know that nothing's going to grow in my comfort zone. I stand in front of these guys and I talk, but I get anxiety. I get anxiety about standing in front of big groups, so I share it with them. I tell them about the sensations, I tell them about where I'm feeling the sensations in my body, because I'm taking the power back from that anxiety. Years ago, I probably would have hid in the toilet or gone to the pub or, you know, not knowing what they were, wouldn't never know how to express them. But now I share them because I know there's probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 people in the audience that feel the same way, but they've never known how to articulate it. And it is literally just about passing on knowledge. So the more that I learn, the more I'll just pass on to other people. You know, it's not really mine to keep. If it works for me, it might work for somebody else. So for me, it's just about just seeing where I can go, what I can do. And just being open to opportunity, really. You know what I mean?
Take them as they come.
Yeah, listen, I was in the dark for too long, mate. Now, you know, every day's a new day for me. I've probably got less time on this earth than I've been on this earth, so I intend to enjoy every single bit of it.
Make the most of it, mate. That's it.
Absolutely,
I think COVID obviously affected a lot of people, didn't it? With anxiety and stuff like that, and stress.
Yeah, social anxiety, you know, even depression as well. You know, that was quite a big one. And obviously, you know, everyone's got mental health. It just depends on where that mental health sits in regards to how you look after yourself. And men especially, you know, we always think about ourselves last. Everybody, we're kind of programmed to be problem solvers. And you know what? Some people don't want a problem solved. Some people just want someone to listen. Some people just want someone to talk to. You know, it isn't about finding a solution. It's just about going, look, I need to get rid of this crap inside me. Can you just give me some space? You know, sometimes that's all it is. It's, you know, in that sense. But I think a lot of us, we just don't do that in fear of what other people think.
100%. That's it. That's where anxiety comes in. You always think about what other people think. And I was talking to Rob about it on Saturday. For myself, I struggle with anxiety now, which I never really noticed until obviously after COVID and stuff. So I used to be a proper outgoing, way over the top person, and then all of a sudden I've crushed down. I've so concentrated on my business and stuff like that. Meeting other people now, if it's out of my zone, I find it really, really difficult, and I just take it all in, and it's like too much going on. But if I'm talking to someone in person, it's fine when I'm actually there in the situation. But sometimes when you're like thinking about actually go into the situation, you start overthinking, don't you? Like all these like bloody little thoughts coming in. You're thinking, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about. You just need to put yourself out of the comfort zone and go to it. That's what I've started to learn myself. Just keep going, keep putting yourself in awkward situations, and that's how I keep growing myself. Because I know, obviously, myself, obviously the anxiety stuff, but just a talking thing sometimes, mate. That's all it is for myself.
Absolutely, you know. Especially with anxiety, what we do is we project something that's happened to us into the future, and then we think that's how it's going to be. And then what we do is we attach ourselves to all the emotions and all the feelings and all the sensations of that.
Yeah, that's
it. When really what we should be thinking about is, how do I want it to go? What does it look like? How's it going to really feel for me? Because then what you're doing is you're concentrating on creating something rather than focusing on recreating something. You know, in that kind of sense, you know, and pushing yourself within your capabilities and within your comfort, you know, that it's going to allow you to feel some changes, but it's not going to be difficult and really, really uncomfortable. In that sense. And just break things down to the smallest, simplest thing. You know, like any goal that you got that you want to achieve, just break it down to the smallest detail and just do it one step at a time, because every little step is an achievement. If we keep focusing on the main goal, we actually don't enjoy it, you know, and really it's the process that we're enjoying, because the process is where things go up and down. You know, it's not a linear process, but your goal will never ever change. You know what I mean? Like, it will never change. But yeah, for me, mate, it's just about just enjoying it. You know, really, I love what I do, and that's my kind of purpose. That's what I get up for in the morning. You know, if I feel good, then everyone else around me is going to feel the same way. If I feel bad, then I want to know why. You know, I want to know what I need to do to change the way that I'm feeling. You know, so kind of take responsibility for that.
Yeah, I said this for myself. It's you know, I'm learning to try and be open with stuff, because I always knock myself. You know, I've worked my arse off. I'm doing okay now. You know, I've got a successful company, doing really well, but I always keep pushing for more. I'm never satisfied. That's a problem I need to learn with myself. You know, I've got a lovely family at home. I've just never seemed to be satisfied. I always seem to keep pushing and pushing until I'm.
Tony?
Hey?
How long have you been in business?
8 years.
So if you could go back to Tony 8 years ago, and say, right, in 8 years' time, or less than 8 years' time, you're going to be achieving this, this, and this, what would that Tony say 8 years ago?
I'd be shocked if I was honest with you, to see where I am now. Like,
There you go.
yeah,
So the biggest thing that I used to struggle with it was living in the present.
that's it, mate.
And like learning to appreciate the surroundings and everything that's going on and everything they've achieved. And if somebody like exactly like that, if somebody said to you 8 years ago that you'd be doing all the jobs that you're doing, you'd be doing these lives, you'd have the YouTube channel and everything would be going great, you'd be like, yes, that's what I want, that's what I want. And sometimes we can live too far in the future and you can never be happy with whatever you got, and you can start to feel like I'm working all the hours and I'm doing all this effort and I'm pushing myself really hard, but I don't feel like I'm winning. I don't feel like I'm doing.
Mate, that is literally what I'm like now.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to take a step back, press the pause button, and go, actually, look how far, I'm very proud of what I've done.
Yeah.
I've stepped out of my comfort zone and I've pushed myself and I've come this far and I've achieved this, and I'm really proud of that. And I can say that, you know what? Yes, I've done it. I've reached this goal. All right, let's move forward. Let's level up again.
Yeah.
But when I'm going to appreciate each little step and each little victory, because all these little wins that we don't really understand or don't give ourselves credit for, they're the little wins that keep you going.
Yeah, 100%.
Little wins lead to big victories, and then the big, whatever you want, whether it's the big house, the whatever it is, whatever your goal you want to achieve with it, and then it keeps you focused as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're pushing yourself all the time, and like a lot of guys that I speak to, I'm like, do you pay yourself a wage? And like, well, no, I need to keep the money in the business. I'm like, well, it's no good. Paying yourself a wage every single month, whatever it is should be a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You're working this hard for you. And if you're working this hard and not paying yourself any money, no matter how much it is or how little it is, if you're working that hard and pushing yourself that hard and you're not seeing any financial benefit or anything that you could go out down to the pub and buy a couple of beers or go SP Tools and buy a load of stuff.
Keep coming back and forth.
And you feel like you're working for nothing, and you start to get demoralized. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sick of this shit. I'm working hours like God sending them, seeing no benefit for it. I'm not seeing my family anymore and whatever it is. But if you're giving yourself a wage every single month or every single week, however you want to do it, you can start to say, well, actually, I am earning more money. Maybe I can pay myself a little bit more. Maybe I can pay myself a little bit more. Right, I need to hold it back this month because we've got a couple of big bills coming up, and I know I've got to wait a little bit, but I'm still going to pay myself your minimum payment that you want to pay yourself. And you still feel like and then you'll start to think, well, I've saved a little bit of money there. I've kept that little bit of money in the business. I've paid myself my wage, and it allows you to keep going.
100%.
Instead of like you're grinding and hustling all the time and getting nowhere with it.
Yeah. You see, Raymond's put here saying, amen, Rob, focusing on the now. And what truly matters to me has massively changed my life for the better. Thanks for that, Raymond. Thanks for dropping us a comment in tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm very guilty of it still. I have to catch myself out sometimes. Like, I was building the extension on my house, which has been going for nearly 2 years now.
It does when it's like your house, doesn't it?
but there was, so the ground is absolutely solid near me. So you dig literally the depth of a shovel and you're into solid bedrock.
Oh, no.
But I was digging it last summer and I was sat on the digger and I had the JCB Beaver generator going with a breaker on it, and then I had a power barrow. Yeah. I had all these machines going, and I was rushing in and out because I was doing it on my own. I was jumping from the digger into the breaker, breaking it up, and then in the digger and putting it in the power barrow. Then running around on these 3 bits of equipment. I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I need to get this done because I've got a concrete pour on Monday, and I need to get.
Always 100 miles per hour, and you're like.
Yeah. And then I looked over and I see my middle boy Ben, and he had his ear defenders on, and he had 2 little tractors. He was 3 at the time. 2 little tractors. All this chaos of me running around trying to get this done, and he was just playing with his tractor in the zone, present. And he just looked up and gave me the thumbs up, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to put this pressure on myself. I think I need to be a bit more like Ben and just chill out and live in the moment and experience it. And then he jumped on my lap and he drove the digger with me on the lap. And it's a memory that I've made now that I'll keep with me. Yes, I had to get a certain job done at a certain time. So come the Monday morning, I could get the footings inspected and pour the concrete. But I did it in a way that I didn't put that much pressure on myself. And then once I did like that, I still got it done in the same time. I just wasn't running around, sweat pissing out of me and jumping from piece of equipment to a piece of equipment. I was doing it at my pace.
Your pace.
And I was enjoying it, and I became more productive because I wasn't stressing about the future. I wasn't stressing about
worrying too much about it all.
So it's little things like that we can bring into everyday life. That yes, we do need goals that we need to set and achieve, and it gives us a focus to drive towards. But don't let those goals consume you, and they be as if you've got blinkers on it, and that's all you're focusing on, because you might have to go a little bit left and a little bit right and a little bit up and a little bit down to get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
Appreciate the journey when you get there.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, if you didn't, like I said myself, I know I'm doing too much, and it's like you get to a point and you're like, I'm fucking hell, this is just more hassle than it's worth, and everything non-stop. Every night I'm in the office till 10, 11 o'clock every night after work as well, and you're just like, fucking hell, I just want to break.
Dude, boundaries in place.
Yeah.
And you need to say no to yourself.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's learning that is what I've got to do.
You're not letting anybody down apart from yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Because what you're doing is because you're self-employed and you're working for yourself, you have no boundaries to the point that you go, you know what, I'm going to finish at 6. I don't care. I'm going to finish. What you're doing then is you're showing everybody else around you how to look after themselves as well. But at the moment, what you're saying, I'm quite happy to work in chaos. I really am. Because you just said it. Like, where do you see yourself in 12 months' time?
Expanding the company more, social media is starting to go somewhere, because I want to start, basically what I'm trying to do is I want to start training the youth to get into the industry more.
Okay.
I want to try and do a little bit more coaching as well. That's what I want to try and do as well. There's a few things I want to try and achieve.
If you're doing that on top of what you're doing now, do you have capacity to do that?
Not at the minute, no.
Right. So realistically then, where do you see yourself in 12 months' time?
The main thing is expanding the company. So I've got more people in to take over little bits that it frees me up time to do something else.
Right. So that's the realistic side of the 12 months time.
Yeah.
So then in 2 years' time, where do you see yourself?
I don't know, actually.
But think about it, right? When someone said 2 years' time, you think, God, it's a long time. It's not. It's 12 months. We're nearly 4 months into the new year.
Yeah, I know.
Be a year done. So where do you see yourself by the end of the year? What do you hope to achieve for you that is achievable? And you go, actually, do you know what? I've done well with that.
Yeah, I expect. If I get myself up to 10 people, because I want to grow the production company as well as the construction company.
Right.
I want to have both running up and running, to a nice tidy pace.
Where do your family fit in this?
That's the problem, mate. Yeah.
See what I'm saying to you? It's all well and good aspirations, mate, but it's when you sit down and realistically think about it and you think, right, do I have the capacity for all of this? Family, kids, time to grow your business, try to grow your social media business. It's a lot of plates you're spinning, mate. And if you're finding it challenging at the moment, imagine what it's going to be like in 8 months' time. Then imagine what it's going to be like in 2 years' time. So you have to be honest with yourself. It's all well and good having these big dreams, and I encourage everyone to dream big, but you work within your capabilities slowly.
Yeah, that's what, like you said a minute ago, just narrowing them down to little points and then building.
Right, because remember what you're putting down on paper, right, is just a word.
Yeah.
Growth, development, production, mentoring, coaching. But then when you start to add things to that and you start expanding on it, mate, the one thing you forget to put down is time.
Yeah.
When time to do this. If you've already consumed 18, 19 hours of your day and you've not slept yet, what's going to give? It's going to be another, which is going to be 20 hours of your time, which leaves 4 hours to sleep. And you still got to eat, you still got to see your family in that time. Okay, so that's a day gone and you've not slept. Do you understand what I mean? So back to your Yeah, you need to put some boundaries in place and learn.
I try and get everything very structured. So, like you said, with timing and stuff, it's got to be fucking. You've got to do that. I've got to get that done now, so it frees me up to do that, so I can get that done as well. It's always like,
what's in there?
Do you know what I used to say to myself all the time, Tony? I used to say, more I do today, less I have to do tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But
should be the same.
More I have to do today, less I have to do tomorrow. Tomorrow comes again. More I have to do today, and it's a false economy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I could never see that. I used to think that I had to be like that, and I had to seem to be grinding it out, and I had to seem to be pushing myself to my absolute limit. And it's no good for you. You burn out. You explode. Like we were speaking about football, weren't we, on Saturday?
Yeah.
And how you used to play football all the time, then you didn't play for ages, and you went back and you did your knee in, didn't you? And bored you and put you out for, well, you can't play football to the same level as you used to when you were younger. And it's the same. You're doing the same to you as a person. You'll push yourself that hard, and all of a sudden you'll have a massive breakdown or a massive burnout or an explosion of whatever description.
Yeah.
And it can affect you for the rest of your life. So it's all about putting those boundaries in, like Lee said. Because, and think of it this way, Tony, right? You're growing your business, you want to build your reputation, which you're doing, and you want to get it to a point where everybody just uses TDD, for example. And what you don't want to do is all these people ringing up and asking for quotes, and giving you quotes, and you're winning the quotes. And then everybody's saying, yeah, Tony's great, but when he turns up to site, or his teams turn up to site, they do a bang-on job. But they never turn up when they say they're going to turn up. He said he was here on the 1st of April. They didn't start till the 3rd of June.
Yeah.
And people get peed off with it. And the best thing to do is you can say to people, this is what Lee's taught me, is that absolutely I can do that for you. But at this moment in time, I don't have the capacity. If you want us to do it, it'll be at this time. And if they turn around to you and they say no, you can go, right, fine, that's fine. There's no pressure on you. You know where you stand with it. They know where you stand with it. Instead of thinking, right, they've accepted the quote. Yeah, I'll come and do it. And as soon as you hang that phone up, or even when you're having the conversation, where the hell am I going to fit this in?
Oh, mate, that's,
putting massive pressure on yourself straight away. And then that's distracting you from what you're doing. They could ring you up and you could have been laying bricks or building a stud wall or plastering or whatever. And you're meant to be there to focus on doing the plastering. And now all you're thinking about is, how the hell am I going to fit this work in for Jenny who's just rang me up?
Yeah, that's it. And then you end up, you've got 4 or 5 jobs on the go, and you're like, oh, fuck.
And then finances can get muddied, can't they? And you're wanting another job, and then you think, I'm doing all these works and I've got 5 jobs on and 6 members of staff and 2 vans out on the road. Why aren't I making money? You're here, there, and everywhere, and you need to give it as, when you turn up on a site, you'll have your procedures that you put in. You want you and the lads to work in a certain way, and you never leave the site messy on an evening. You make sure everything's packed away safely, and it's organised, and it's got its place, and it's got its structure.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same with the way, like, booking jobs in and the way you do things and looking after yourself. And part of that, imagine having your mixer, right? You used it all the time, but you never washed it out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Give it 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever. You're going to end up with a hole in it about that big, because it's just filled up with compo, just constantly. It becomes useless. And that's why, that part of your routine, every single time you use that piece of equipment, is, right, I need to wash it out and clean it out, so next time I come to use it, it's good and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
And you can do that with yourself and the way you do things. That, we can do it, but we can't fit it in now. I don't want to try and squeeze it in and do a half-assed job, because I'm too busy thinking that I've got to do 10 other jobs tomorrow, and you're not focusing and living in the present. And listening to what you need to do on that particular job. You're concentrating on everything else but what you need to do in that moment. And it all starts with saying, I can't fit you in. I'm really sorry, but we can do it at this date. If it doesn't work on your schedule, I'm really sorry, but please remember us for the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No isn't a negative word, mate. All right. We just think it's got a negative connotation, but it's not. When you say no, it is basically saying, I can't do this right now. You're adding context to that word.
Yeah.
And then what you're saying to yourself is, actually, you know what? I can't do it right now, but You can come back in 3 months' time. I should have a space then. If you still need me, come and see me then. And 9 times out of 10, people will, because you're being honest.
Honest, yeah, that's what you want.
It's like if you said, yeah, I can do it, and you can't, they believe you. They take it at face value. They take it by your reputation. If you say, look, I can't, I'm booked, they're going to be thinking, actually, if this guy's booked, he must be really good. I am going to wait for him. Do you understand? Whereas in your head, you're growing a business and you want to squeeze as much in as you can.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of businesses fail, because of the fact they take on too much too soon, and they don't have the ability to control that. You know, it really doesn't. So it's not a bad thing to say no to yourself. It's not a bad thing to say no to other people. It's just the way you deliver that. You know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate that, guys. As I said, everyone that's watching this, you can see how good you both are. You've just given me some live advice already.
Skill, mate, right? Master your skill before you start going into different avenues, because when you start exploring different, it turns your head, and then you forget about just how good you are at what you actually do. Once you've mastered that, then what you do is, mate, you're able to go, actually, I can start delegating parts of these. And then when you start delegating that time you've delegated away is time then you can start fitting other stuff into. Don't start delegating what you haven't got. Don't start giving time away that is important to you. Don't start like leaning into your family time, start leaning into your weekends, you know, and your hobbies. Because once you start doing that, you get totally consumed by what you're doing. And what it's going to do is, mate, it will lead to burnout. I promise you, it will burn you out. Because you'll keep chasing and you'll keep chasing and you'll keep chasing.
Mate, you do. I said, with you both speaking to me then, I can just see it already. Do you know what I mean? It's just like giving me the advice that I need. Like I know deep down it was there, but it's just listening to someone telling me, basically.
I'm very guilty of Lou, my wife, telling me stuff all the time, and then I'm like, I know I need to do it, I know I need to do it, I know I need to do it, and then somebody else will tell me exactly the same advice as what Louise has told me, and I'll act upon it. She's like, I've been telling you for weeks. I'm like, no, times, and you need somebody else to tell you, don't you?
You do, 100%, mate.
Yeah, a different voice rings true, mate. I tell you, you know what I mean?
100%.
But listen, you can actually say that you've been proper royally tag team by tell people about the experience that you had done. I know you're probably going to come back for seconds and all, you know what I mean?
Sloppy seconds, definitely. Where can people find you both on socials and stuff? Just so anyone else can contact you.
If you just search MYH podcast, I'll pop up, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn,
TikTok.
Yeah.
Pornhub.
TikTok dances, mate.
It's a full-time job, just replying to messages.
Find me at Lee Anderson Coaching, again, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And yeah, that's about as much as I actually do.
Although his TikTok's just full of dog videos and cat videos.
My TikTok.
Well, thank you both for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure having you, speaking to you both. If anyone else wants to see the show, just head over to Pornhub, put in sloppy seconds.
Well, he doubled, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice one, guys.
Thanks a lot,
I'll speak to you all soon, and take care, all right?
Yeah, mate. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.